King of New York. This game is the sequel to the massively successful game King of Tokyo, a game that I've enjoyed immensely. I played it with my daughters, with my 3-year-old and my 5-year-old, and my 5-year-old in particular really enjoys it. And we love King of Tokyo because it really is a family game in the purest sense. It is not a children game that the parents can patiently sit through. It really is a family game in the sense that the entire family can play it and enjoy it. You can enjoy it when you're playing with your kids. The kids can enjoy it when they're playing it with one another. And if the kids are not around, the parents play it and they still have fun. Really an amazing game that has transgenerational qualities. So now we also have a sequel, which is King of New York. As you can see from the cover, the general idea is the same. Players take control of giant monsters inspired by tropes of classic science fiction, and they gather in New York to trash the city and attack each other. In that, the idea is the same that you have in King of Tokyo. As in King of Tokyo, the monsters will score points by doing monstery stuff, that is by destroying buildings and doing other things like that. And also, that is one way of winning the game, by scoring enough victory points by doing monster stuff. The other way of winning the game is by attacking your opponents, and if you eliminate everybody, in any case, there's enough elimination going around and you're the last monster standing, then you also can win the game that way. So, similar ideas that we have in King of Tokyo are here. Also, this still is a dice game, so we still have dice. When it is your turn, you roll the dice, you have up to 2 rerolls, and then the symbols that you have at the end of your rerolls are the ones that you will use to spend on the board, or you will use the symbols to generate effects. The cards for the monsters, same as we had before, with the 2 tracks, one for victory points, one for health. Very similar things. What is immediately different, however, is the board. The board is an actual board in the sense that it is divided in various areas. The previous board also was a board in the material sense, but it was just a square of cardboard, meaning it wasn't divided in any significant subdivisions. It simply marked Tokyo, and you could be inside Tokyo or outside of Tokyo, and that was it. Here, the board is divided in 5 areas, and actually we have a main area, Manhattan, which in itself is divided in 3 sub-areas, in 3 different bands. So that we understand each other, for those who have played King of Tokyo, Manhattan is the new Tokyo, in the sense that it is the special area where players will score points just by sitting there every turn, but there also will be penalties because you won't be able to heal using dice effects, and all players will be ganging up against you precisely because they don't want you to sit in Manhattan for too long and scoring points just for being there and being cool. But the difference now is that if you're not in the special area, which was Tokyo before, if you're not in Manhattan, you can be in other places, and the places are different from one another and they work in different ways. They're differentiated from one another thanks to these building tiles. You have a set of these building tiles that you shuffle all together at the beginning of the game and then use to form stacks of 3 building tiles each. And you place 3 such stacks in each of the 5 neighborhoods, in each of the 5 areas. It's also more fun if you don't look at the stacks that you're forming, so you do not know what you have after under the top tile. You discover it as you go along. And these buildings will allow you to score points and to generate resources by destroying them. You need to destroy them, and you need to use special symbols to do so. The general mechanics, as I said, is the same as before. Roll dice, reroll, use the effects. But there are a couple of new symbols together with some traditional ones. These are still energy cubes that you use to purchase cards, and cards have special game effects, give you benefits, give you victory points. Then we have the stomp symbol, still allows you to hurt your opponents. People outside of Manhattan will use the stomps to use the monster or monsters in Manhattan, and vice versa. Then what do we have? Then we have this destruction symbol. These are used to destroy the buildings. If you're in an area that still has buildings around, and most likely that will be the case, you can use these destruction symbols to destroy buildings. The number that you need to destroy a building is indicated on the building itself. So I need 2 such destruction symbols to remove, to destroy that factory there, the power plant. I would need 3 destruction symbols to destroy that hospital. So if I'm in an area, I can use the destruction symbols to destroy a building there. Then I simply take the tile, I gain the associated benefit for destroying the building. 2 power cubes here, 3 healths recovered here. And then, interesting plot twist, I don't discard it, I turn it to the other side. The more buildings you destroy, the more people come against you, the more reactions there will be. So each building tile, once destroyed, becomes a military unit that is responding to the destruction that you're bringing. And military units usually, well, they still work as buildings. They still have a number that is the number of destruction points that you need to produce to remove that unit. And when you remove a military unit, you also gain the associated benefit. They're just less good than buildings. They cost more to destroy proportionally to the advantage that they give you. I mean, just look at this. Here it only takes a single building, a single destruction point to get a victory point. Here it takes 2 to heal a point. And if we're talking about healing capabilities, then a hospital will give you 3 health points for 3 destruction points. But you need to remove the units. You can't just destroy the buildings and ignore the fact that military units that respond to the destruction are piling up in the area in which you are. Because, alas, units are triggered by these symbols. If you roll one of these, then all units that are in the area attack you and they reduce your health by 1. So if I'm attacked right now and I'm there, this means that I lose 2 health points because there are 2 military units there. If I roll 2, then all monsters in my area are attacked by the units, and again each unit inflicts a point of damage. If I roll 3 such symbols, then all monsters on the board are attacked by all units. So that can be a mixed blessing, and sometimes it's not that bad of a thing to get this result. Also, if you get 3 skulls, you get this card here. And you take it from the box the first time that result is rolled, or you take it from somebody else if they have it after this card has been assigned, and you use that result. What happens when you have this, you gain 3 points. As soon as you get it, you gain 3 victory points, but you can keep those points only for as long as you keep the card. As long as somebody else rolls this, the card goes to them, you lose the points and they gain them. Think of longest road or largest army in Catan. That's how it works. It's a relative advantage that can be taken away from you. Another new symbol that has been introduced in the game is this symbol here. 1 star gives you nothing. 2 stars, meh, still nothing. 3 stars, now it gets interesting. With 3 stars, you get this card here, which again only stays with you, only goes to you when you have 3 stars, and stays with you until somebody else rolls 3 stars, and then they get them. But while you have it, this card can be pretty interesting, because then at that point you gain a victory point for each additional star that you roll. So actually this turn I rolled 4 stars, 3 I used to get this card, and 1 I turns into a victory point. From that moment on, each star that I get becomes a victory point. So this can be pretty powerful. This again is a card that you do not want other people to have for too long, because it can produce massive amounts of points. Another thing that is interesting here, that there's a different element. For the dice, these are the new symbols. The other symbols you already know: heart, stomp, and energy cube. But a new thing that we have here is that now the Tokyo, Manhattan is the new Tokyo, is the new special area, is more interesting because it gives you more stuff, and gives you more stuff the longer you stay there. When you enter Manhattan, which you enter in the traditional way, either by getting there if it's empty or by displacing somebody, when you enter Manhattan, you enter here, in this area here, and you only use this track here if you have 2 to 4 players. There are 2 tracks if you have 5 or 6 players, but these tracks are separate. So if you enter here, then you move there and there. If you enter here, there and there. So the first turn you simply enter here, you gain a benefit from entering Manhattan, and then at the end of the turn you will gain a victory point and an energy cube. Alright! Then you will move to the next area, and once you are there you will get 2 victory points and an energy cube. Then you will move there the following turn, and then once you get there, you stay there. But for as long as you stay there, so if you've been there for 3 turns, starting from there, each turn that you stay there will generate 2 victory points and 2 energy cubes. Much more interesting than the old Tokyo, because now you also get energy cubes, not just victory cubes, and that helps you to build up your arsenal of special cards. It allows you more tactical options, more things that you can do. So I would say that the 2 main innovations here are the buildings and the way Manhattan works, and of course we have also new cards and new symbols that increase the interaction. Before, it was mainly interaction between people outside of Tokyo hitting people in Tokyo, or the character in Tokyo, and vice versa. Now there is more of interaction because you don't want anybody to be in Tokyo, but there are also other sources of points that you would try to take from one another, and to prevent any one player from taking too much advantage of them. So really nice and interesting additions to the system, on top of also having these buildings that you can destroy and just give you extra ways of using your symbols, extra resources to go for. With the catch that you have to find a balance between destroying enough buildings to get points, easy resources from there, but don't forget to also take care of the military units, because if you let them build up, then those can be pretty murderous. So King of New York, I believe this is a really good upgrade from the original game. I personally like it better than King of Tokyo because it has more complexity, it has more layers, but it still remains a children's game. It was particularly easy for my daughter to pick it up because we had played King of Tokyo, so all I needed to do was to tell her about the differences, and she already, from the first game that we started, she was not just thinking about how to implement the mechanics, she was even thinking about strategies. She already knew, oh, I'm gonna go to Tokyo and grab points, and then I'm gonna get dead in there when he's tired and weak, and then I'm gonna slam him and I'm gonna murder him. That's one of my other strategies. It works particularly well because I am particularly, how can I say, I don't know. I don't pay much attention. I guess I tend to underestimate 5-year-old players, and I just take too many risks, and then many of our games end with my daughter killing my monster and therefore winning. She deserves it because I deserve to lose in those cases. That is to say, from the very beginning, my daughter was able to jump in. Now, if you are playing with a young gamer that never has played King of Tokyo, then this is still a pretty smooth entry. This is still a game perfectly approachable by young children. If they play King of Tokyo before, even easier. And there is enough of a difference here, I believe, to justify the presence of both games in your collection. If I were to choose just one now, I would go for King of New York. I like it more. I like what the game does and the options that it has. It's fun, it has all of the good things of King of Tokyo, plus I think some extra layers that make it even more appealing to adults, while not making it any less appealing, any less intuitive to children. The theme is so simple, is so well captured by the mechanics that even children see the theme very well, and of course seeing the themes of the mechanics also helps them internalize the mechanics and start playing in a natural way that they can enjoy. Fun product. I was a little bit skeptical at the beginning. When I purchased it, I was afraid it was going to be maybe just a little more of the same. I didn't know, do we really need another game? At least from the box, looks so similar to King of Tokyo. I'm glad I picked it up because actually it is really nice add to our collection. My daughter Amanda has enjoyed it immensely. She has very often asked me to play it, and we have played very often, and if history has taught us anything for all that I know, almost like before this day is over, I will play it once or twice more with her. King of New York, really fun game, truly a game for the entire family, and a game that my family has enjoyed immensely, and I think we will keep enjoying it in the future too.